One of the biggest banes of existence for a content-focused e-commerce website is actually being solved here, and I'm pretty excited about that. So we're going to talk about some news, and then we're going to talk about a change in the Google rankings that is pretty important to know about. It's going to be a little bit geeky, me as a ex-developer kind of like still talking about that stuff. So this is some really important stuff for you to know about your website and how to maintain it and to keep it ranking as number one, wonderful number one in these search rankings. I'm Joseph from SwiftOtter, and I am so excited to be able to bring this information to you. This is an ongoing newsletter podcast. If you want to join, it's swiftotter.com/ecombuzz. Easy to find, easy to subscribe for. Every other week on Thursday at 11 a.m. Central Time, we send it out. This is really good quality information. No spam, nothing. Just dependable, good quality information. Let's jump in here and talk about the news for today. So, affiliate websites are being downranked. And if you can see the happiness on my face, it's genuine. Well, I hope my happiness is always genuine, but this is kind of an extra level of that. And not in the way of revenge or anything like that, but these affiliate sites have generally had no business in being ranked. If it was a affiliate website like Consumer Reports or some of these other websites that review products and do a quality job of it, yeah, great. In my opinion, that's fine. But most of these affiliate websites are no more than cluttered search results, like doing Google's job for them. And they were able to rank because they wrote enough BS content on there, and it was fine. It wasn't actually any type of a help to a consumer. I wish Google would have done this a little sooner. But they're going away in favor of, well, you guessed it, actual product pages. I'm happy to see this. Shopify Summer Edition is here. It is, I would say, a pretty good update. Nothing earth-shattering, revolutionary, but it's more in the evolutionary perspective. A few things, again, just niceties all across the board, improvements in AI, significant improvements actually in AI. Just overall reasonable stuff, better integrations, improvements to their point of sale. It's all good stuff. But one of their flagship items in this was better market or internationalization compatibility or integration through the website. So, if you're selling to other currencies, just good enhancements to make that easier, which I think one of their plays here, in the way I see this, is Shopify does not have a huge amount of market share in Europe. In Europe, all the countries are different, right? There's a whole bunch of different, they're part of the EU, but there's a lot of interesting dynamics there as far as either language. Currency is pretty much, for the most part, it's the same. Not Poland. So yeah, there's definitely changes there. And obviously with the UK not being in the European Union, there's complexities. And so Shopify is making this a whole bunch easier. We've all heard about the Apple Vision Pro. Great. I'm guessing it's a bit of a dud for Apple. Certainly not like their iPhone launch at the beginning. So it's fine, but it's interesting to see e-commerce companies like Lowe's starting to take advantage of this. Now, Lowe's sunk a huge amount of money into a kitchen designer for Apple Vision Pro. I'll be curious to see how that works. Unfortunately, many people do not have Apple Vision Pro, so adoption will be somewhat limited. But it does go to show that 3D is becoming more democratized, easier to access, and thus it's interesting to start thinking about how it might start applying to your brand. We actually recently wrote some articles about 3D configurators, good options for Shopify specifically, as well as just examples of 3D configurators. So if you find that interesting, go over to swiftotter.com, look at our knowledge section. You'll find some of those articles there. That's how this would then apply in a much broader category. Now, moving forward, I told you we're going to bring up a little bit of developer conversation here, and unfortunately, that is going to be the case here. But fortunately, from the perspective that you need to understand some of the inner workings as far as how Google looks at your website. So a little bit of history here. You've probably seen the Google page speed Insights. This Google Page Speed Insights is their tool to start assessing how responsive, how snappy, how performant your website is. To be honest, I don't look at it as a perfect metric at all. It often seems flawed. And in fact, I like to use Google Lighthouse as part of Chrome. As far as I feel like it's a bit better of a metric, but this is what I think it's an insight as far as the information Google is actually using when they are browsing your website. So it is important to keep an eye on the page speed insights. Agree or disagree with their process for the metrics they've come up with. It's still important. So here's what we're going to be talking about. In this, we have largest contentful paint, cumulative layout shift, etc., interaction to next paint. This is a fairly new one that Google's been monitoring for a while, and they recently swapped it out a couple of months ago, such that this is more used. Actually, this is used instead of first input delay. So this is basically how long it takes after you click on something for the paint or the screen to change. Interaction, I click, to next paint. How quickly does it take for something to start moving? So if it's I think this is about 150, 160 milliseconds. If it's over that threshold, then it's going to feel clunky. It's going to feel sluggish, and users will not be overly happy with that. So this drops out into the red zone, and this can have an impact on your search rankings. I don't think it's going to move you up into place number one if you were, say, at 500 milliseconds and then now you get it down to 137 milliseconds. It's not going to do anything dramatic like that. However, it is being used in your rankings, and if you're like most merchants, every little bit of that juice really does matter. And so that's where keeping an eye on this score is important, understanding where it comes from, and again, how snappy is your website. Once it's loaded up, there's obviously plenty of other metrics on this page. The largest contentful paint, this one can be a real bear to work with. The cumulative layout shift, how often does this page shift as it is loading up? Basically, you've had it where you load up a page, you're one of those power users, you click on something, and all of a sudden, boom, it takes you to the wrong page. You're like, I didn't click on that. Why did that happen? Well, it's just as you were tapping it, the layout shifted, cumulative layout shift, and then you were sent to a different page. Very frustrating. All these are important for ensuring customer happiness when they are on your website. So hop on over there to Google Page Speed Insights, plug in your URL, see what it comes out, and keep an eye on that as time goes on. After deliveries, code deliveries, big changes to your website, this does matter. Again, like I said, it's not the end of the world if this is awful, but things like this do matter, and it's important we keep ahead of this, that we are delivering the best experiences to our customers. That was eCom Buzz, episode number 7. Super excited to join you here. We will be talking soon.